kind of, local identity. So they are usually, fetished with constructing traditional structures like this. This looks like a monastery, but not. It's a guest house. So there's a competition among them to make something more brazenly, Latin construction. So that's Kalimpong, Darjeeling and Gangtok. We are now in Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh is a state that got created in 1975. Please remember these dates very clearly. Created in 1975 as a distinct state. It was part of what is called the NIFA, Northeastern Frontier Agency, and the area which used to be called the Tawang region was originally a part of Tibet till 1914, 24th of March. On 24th of March 1914, there was the McMahon Treaty between Tibet and British India, and that made Tawang region part of India. But again, listen, administratively, India took control of Arunachal Pradesh in 1951. That too, not completely, slowly in different progression. From firstly to start with Tawang district and West Kameng district. These are two places where Member tribe live. In all over Arunachal Pradesh, which is 90,000 square kilometers of land, there are 26 different tribes and so many uncountable languages and dialects are spoken all over Arunachal Pradesh. It's therefore someone with my face, I have the advantage of going there and blending with one of them. Everybody thinks that I'm one of the another tribe, and I speak Hindi, so it works so well. Arunachal today, when they speak Hindi, one of the most useful thing is a shabd, is a word called hoga. So if you know hoga, you can get everything done. Oh, hoga is yes, okay, right, everything, okay, yes, everything is hoga. Hoga, 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 hoga. Hoga is a question, hoga is a question, and answer is hoga, is also hoga. And now, when I say the next word, all of you will laugh more. Because in Ladakh, I noticed when you speak Hindi, it's a tigra. Tigra, 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 tigra. Everything is tigra. So this is, as a traveler, as a writer, I take notice of language. And this tigra is equal to hoga in Arunachal Pradesh. So you see, this is Arunachal Pradesh. So in 1951, Arunachal Pradesh, especially the Tawang region, came under India's direct control. This is this is Sela Pass. So Sela Pass shows the border between Tawang region on the inside, and on the outside is West Kameng district. As I said, these two districts put together make Monyul today. Member is one of the most distinguished tribes there, including the former CM and today's CM Pema Khandu, Dorji Khandu formerly. Both of them come from this tribe. After this gate is Tawang, and Tawang district town looks like this. And Tawang monastery over there, this entire space is Tawang monastery. Some people say that this is the biggest Buddhist monastery in the world. As a monastery, it's spread to such a huge area together. It consists of a village here called the Shö Basti, or how we say in Tibet, Podala and Shö, like that. In Tawang, there is Tawang Gompa and Shö Basti or Shö village. Here you have Kar and Karyok. Yeah, down there there's a small village, Karyok we'll say. Yeah. So, but then this is much bigger and well kept. Now the story is, this was built by, again, if you want to remember researchers, remember, built by Merak Lama, M-E-R-A-K, Merak Lama. Merak Lama was the student of the 5th Dalai Lama, who came into accession in Tibet in 1642. And since then he was of course very powerful, supported by the Mongolians. And Merak Lama, as a student from Tawang, went to Tibet, sought support from 5th Dalai Lama, and set up the Tawang monastery. At that time there was a lot of pressures from Nyingmapa sect and especially Drupa Kagyu sect. So there was a pressure on him how to properly build it, and he wanted to create Gelupa sect Gompa there. So taking support from the Dalai Lama, he was able to set it up. Now listen to this, very important historical factor. And therefore, the 6th Dalai Lama was born in Tawang region. You see, there is a historical connectivity in this. As sanctified and sacred they look, it is also political. So 6th Dalai Lama was born in Tawang region. It's somewhere there. There's a place called Urginling, there where the 6th Dalai Lama was born. If you go to Tawang, you get to see this 6th Dalai Lama's birthplace. It's a nice, tree canopy and a small ground there. So this is there. This is the image of Merak Lama. You see this image in Tawang monastery there. These are some of the things, artifacts used by 6th Dalai Lama at the time when he was there, and later he was welcomed to Tibet, and there were a lot of issues which are distinctly Tibetan politics, religion politics, that after every Dalai Lama there is a power struggle. So 6th Dalai Lama, although was taken to Tibet from Tawang, he was not immediately enthroned. He spent a lot of time in Hoa in southern Tibet, and then later he started to write poetry. He had a lot of lovers, as people say. I don't know, but people say. And his distinction is known as the poet, lover, and lama. Yeah. So that's 6th Dalai Lama, and my friend Viraf will love this. These are iron chains created by Thandong Gelpo. Thandong Gelpo is a maverick Tibetan master in science, metallurgy, medicine, and performing arts. He created this tradition of Lhamo or Deogar, where he needed money to do his metallurgy and building iron bridges. And so he brought together young boys and girls, intelligent ones who could recite and say stories and sing. And then he created this tradition, and he traveled with this dance troupe and collected money. And with that he firstly mined iron ore, did the metallurgy, created iron chains like this, and then created iron bridge. He created, it is legendarily said, he created 108 iron bridges all over Tibet. In Arunachal Pradesh, some people do say there is either one in Ladakh or there is something, I don't know, but people do say there's something. But Viraf, could you tell me, where did you see that Thandong Gelpo image, or where, somewhere there?
There are two rock carvings of Thandong Gelpo. One is to be found just at the entrance of Pyonggompa, and the other one, the mysterious one that we located, was not far from Waka village in Jenchok. It's upstream, and we have to further explore his connection, meaning the reason for his visit, but we are researching ancient iron ore making in Ladakh and the role that Thandong Gelpo might have played during his time with us.
Right. Thank you for that great input. My friend Viraf, Quintin, a number of them are doing rock art studies, and all that little thing that I was speaking about rock arts earlier is all from them. I don't know anything. I learned everything from that. But this is there in Tawang Gompa Museum. So this is Bumla Tibet border, and I hate when most of our Indian friends say China border, China border. It's not China border, it's Tibet border. You know, आप वहाँ खड़े रहो वो तो Tibet दिखेगा. वहाँ कोई China नहीं है. China occupied Tibet, and today they are standing there and now threatening India. So it is Chinese occupation of Tibet. So we have to say that it is Tibet border. It's not China border. So I had this great emotional moment when I stood there and saw that on the other side is Tibet, and I was trying to unfurl a Tibet flag there. But this is a tourist place. Tourists are allowed to go up to that point. This is Gorsam Choten. There are 4 Chorten brothers. And one of the most distinguished ones that we all have seen or heard about, seen pictures, is the Bodhanath Buddhist stupa in Kathmandu, where distinctly the Buddha eyes in meditative posture. Similar is there in this. This was undergoing some repair, so there was whitewashed, but there's a faint image of the eyes there. There are 4 brothers. One is Gorsam Chodeng in Tawang Valley. The other one is Bodhanath Stupa in Kathmandu. One is in Tibet, Yangtze Pegor Chodeng in Tibet. And then there was Tashi Yangtze Chodeng in eastern Bhutan. So you see, Bhutan, Nepal, Tibet and India have these 3 brother Chortens. Now, I don't know how many of you could recognize this, but in Tawang region, this is hugely loved and respected, and people go there, pay respects there. Why? Because in 1959, after Chinese invasion of Tibet, the 14th Dalai Lama escaped from Tibet, came to India, and he came to India. When he came, as he entered India, the first region, the place he entered into India is called Kenzamani. Kenzamani. He crossed on the 31st of March 1959. And when he entered into India, Indian security forces came and received him at the border. And as he entered, now he felt relieved that Chinese soldiers are no longer chasing him. So he took first rest at a place called Kenzamani. And the walking stick that he was using all this time, he stuck it on a rock, and that turned into a tree. And this is the tree. So therefore, so many people, especially Mumpas, go there to pay respect. You see, there are kathas here, and flowers, and prayer flags. This tree is still standing, is vibrant, and there are some fruits also growing. We were there in the month of December. So you see, I started the journey last year from here on 17th of August. I was finishing in December end. So it took me 4 months traveling all this distance. So this is Kenzamani. This is Chutangmo, the place where the Dalai Lama took his first night rest. And there was some flood, it had happened. But this place is 285 kilometers to Lhasa, and this place is 500 kilometers to Guwahati. So this is much closer to Tibet than to Guwahati. And this is in the Kenzamani Valley. This is Chutangmo, the first place where he took the night rest. So first night rest is Chutangmo. Now Arunachal Pradesh government is making a travel route for tourists to visit all the night stays of the Dalai Lama, from Kenzamani to all these places. Kenzamani, second is Gorsam Chodeng, and third is third is Shakti, fourth is Lalung. This is Lalung village. It's on the high hill. This is Lalung village, and in memory of that, they created this temple, Lalung. Next is Tonglek. So this again, this is a recently built temple, but this was the original place. This is the original photograph. So this could be 31st he crossed Chutangmo. First night is Gorsam, second night is Shakti, third night is Lungla, fourth night is Tonglek. So this should be 4th of April 1959. He took rest in this thatched roof house, and that's His Holiness there. And this is his younger brother Ngarjumbuche, and these are his ministers. So this photograph is there in this temple. Is in that. So we are now coming to the end. This is former MLA Karma Wangchuk. And as a teenager, he and his father used to go to Tibet to trade. And he said in 1952, he went to Norpolinka, met with His Holiness the Dalai Lama in Tibet at the time. And in 2009, when His Holiness the Dalai Lama visited Arunachal Pradesh, Tawang, he hosted His Holiness in his house. So he's saying, I have the distinction of having met His Holiness in Norbalinga and now in Tawang. And he's still living. My friend Pema is trying to tell us herbs, flowers, what are they called in Tibetan language, and how does it taste, what is it used for, what medicine these can be used, and at what season and in what time should these flowers be picked. So you see, Tibetan traditional Ayurvedic or herbal medicines, they know which flowers to be plucked at what season, either morning or evening, and mixture and all of that. It's such a interesting science and medicine here. This is Sengedzong. Now, when Arunachal Pradesh used to be ruled by, administered by the government from Lhasa, there used to be 4 districts. One is, so from there, this is Sengedzong, Sengedzong, Gyangarzong, Thiramzong, Thonglek, Tablumzong. So there are 4 zones from where the taxes were collected, given to Tawang Gompa, and which would then hand over to Tsona in southern part of Tibet, and then finally reach Lhasa. Now interestingly, now this will interest you, today there is a border issue between Assam and Arunachal Pradesh. And Arunachal Pradesh is very cleverly using the dictates sent by Lhasa about the borders, from where such kind of taxes should be collected, from which village, and all the borders are demarcated in these huge letters written almost like A4, A3 sizes, or even bigger charts. Arunachal Pradesh government is using these to show evidences where our borders lie. And it said that because there were such kind of borders, Assam kingdom, or what we call a Homea kingdom, they used to pay tributes to Tibet, and Tibetan Lhasa government also used to pay tributes to Lhasa for mutual respect. Even today, Guwahati sends 2.5 lakh rupees as a tribute to Tawang Gompa, even today. So this is for me, and the advantage of being the traveler and also being the writer, that I keep looking for such interesting stories. And this is one of the boundaries where there is a castle right on top. We have now come to Menjuka. Menjuka is a place of medicinal water. It's such a beautiful landscape there, very different from rest of the Arunachal Pradesh. Menjuka, people who live there are the Kongpo Member tribe. They usually say Member tribe, but Member are, especially the Tibetans would know, Kongpo ku laya kakung mangbo yoro Kongpo chomda Member mangbo yoro. Member di kakchik redwa. Di Member ne chashik and Arunachal Yaganam there. So Member people live there, and they speak and they are dressed just like how the Kongpo people are in Tibet. Look at this. We did a film screening, and all of them came dressed in their finest, jewelry and the dresses. And we did this film screening there in Menjuka. This is Menjuka. So what we call the McMahon border is now marked by this small stupa. This stupa, Chorten, half of it is in India side, half of it is in Tibet side. Now there is a divide of time also. From India side, when they go to visit this border stupa, actually as a stupa there is hardly anything, but they would like to go to the border nonetheless. But their visit should be wound up before 11 o'clock in the morning. Because in the afternoon, after 12, the Tibetan side will come to the border to pay their respects. What is called paying respects is a very interesting thing. What do you think these stuff are for? Are they gods and goddesses who are going to eat this? Is the stupa so hungry for this? No. What they do is people from this side go and place these things there, and when people from other side come here, they take these things away, niceties and goodies, and they also leave some stuff here for people from this side to go. Anyway, on the other side, there are brothers, cousins and family. There are families on the two sides. Just that there is a hard border today. And of course they do the Tiranga and Janagana Mana and all of that. This is how, now we are in Tooting. Tooting is the place, if you remember from the news, early this year, there was a news where one of the Arunachal Pradesh boy was kidnapped by the Chinese soldiers, if you remember from the news. It happened in this village. There are the local people over there, there are so many different tribes. There are Adi, there are Galo people, tribes, and then from the Buddhists, there are the Pemakopa people there. In Tibet, Pemako is such a big region, and in Arunachal Pradesh there is the Myo Tibetan refugee camp where Pemakopa Pemakopas are living there. They are now locals over there. This is Tooting. I'm trying to say that river Brahmaputra, which is one of the biggest in India, enters into India from this point. And there is an Indian village, which is the last village there, is a village called Bishing. And this is the area from where that boy was kidnapped. And from India side, where I am standing, you see this border, they are now trying to build a road. And we have no road up to the border. And therefore they are taking advantage. The Chinese have built borders right up to the last border point, and they have the advantage. We don't have that. So this is the river from where the river, one of the main tributaries of Brahmaputra enters into India from Bishing village, and this area is called Tooting. Kadam. Sorry, I took a lot of things. I took almost about 1 hour, 20 minutes or something. So if there is any questions, comments, we can now discuss. Thank you.
Any of the Tangtong Gelpros regions still existing?
Yes. If you go to Tawang, further down into the valley, there is a place called Chaksam. Chaksam is a village there. It is marked because of the Chaksam bridge, and there is a Chaksam bridge still standing. It has suffered some damage because of the earthquake and also of the flood, but remnants of it is still standing. The kind of a chain that I showed you on this is still there, and one could see Chaksam bridge there. Any other question?
Do I have a question? I have a comment.
Yes, please.
In the beginning of your talk, you started off by saying that the Leh Palace was modelled on the Potala.
Yeah, I said this is what people said to me.
No, it's the other way around. Actually, Leh Palace was built 3 years before Potala. If you look at the dates, yeah. And when Leh Palace was built, it was the highest building in the Himalayas. And then Potala came up 3 years later.
Ah, okay.
So just to. Not everything starts in Tibet. Something starts in Ladakh.
Yeah, so I keep collecting. I will collect this as one of the stories, like how I collected other stories.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a story, it's a historic fact.
Yeah. So this is your, someone else said the other one.
Yeah.
I'm only a collector. I'll collect this as another story. Okay, any other?
Can I ask you a political question?
Yes.
Well, in 2021 and 20, the border skirmish happened in Ladakh.
Yes.
Galwan Valley.
Yes.
No offense, please, but my question is this: why the Tibetan government in exile have not given one bite that's saying that Chinese is doing wrong and we're against of it? That is my first question. My second question is this.
I think we don't take political views.
But he said that I can ask political question.
Not in this platform, you can ask him individually outside.
Alright, it's okay.
Well, I mean, now the question is asked. See, I cannot answer for Tibetan government, but I know Tibetan government in exile is called Central Tibetan Administration. We work under Indian government. Samajh liya? Any other question? Yes.
I may be wrong. The structure which you were saying, you see going from the Gurudwara towards the one which have the engraving thing.
Yeah, the Kankani over here.
There's something in Aruchi monastery where you can see the things. Is it something similar or?
The basic structure may be same. I cannot immediately remember what I had seen at Alchi. But if the structure is same, like there's a stupa on top, and underneath there is a mandala, that structure is called Kangani.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as Kutch.
Any other?
How did you plan your trip? I mean, you went by foot or you went by bus? Or you
Oh,
went
so
by-
many different ways. In the Himalayas, up in the mountains, of course, mostly you have to walk. You have to carry your own stuff and walk to a place you're staying or to the village. But mostly we were taking local transports, like mostly shared jeeps. Like 10, 12 people put together in one kind of thing. So we pay for your seat like that. Mostly I did that travel. So it took me a little more than 4 months. Any other question?
Why did you leave out Bhutan of this tour?
Bhutan and Nepal I purposely left behind. I didn't, because they are already